Yes, so I wanted to put on record that we are doing our meeting by virtual Zoom due to the COVID-19 pandemic and by the amendments to the Illinois Open Meetings Act by Governor Pritzker. So our office is open right now. So if anybody was to knock on the door, someone is here. But we are again by Zoom and all our commissioners are here virtually. So that's it.
All right. So
And I'll pull up the agenda.
Okay, yeah, if you don't mind screen sharing it, that'd be great. We have public comments. This is time limit 3 minutes per speakers, 30 minutes maximum total. This is for anything that is not on the agenda. So we reserve the public comments for anything on the agenda at a later point. So would anyone like to have public comments at this point? They have the opportunity to raise their hand if they do, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, I'm looking at the so it's one person. Okay, go ahead, Ernie.
I just wanted to know, are we on the agenda, Northwest Side Housing Center?
Yes, you are.
Okay,
You guys.
Then I'm
are,
gonna wait until you say it's time for us to talk.
Okay, yeah, you're number 9 on the
Okay.
agenda.
All right,
So,
terrific.
and Ivy's gonna share her screen in a minute, and so you can see it. Sorry about that.
That's okay, thank you.
Technical difficulties.
And
Yeah,
you can mute me again.
Okay.
Thanks.
My Adobe decided to stop working. So
Oh, do you want me to share my screen then?
Oh, I have it. I have another screen share, so I'm pulling
Okay.
it up right now.
Okay, so let's move on to approval of the agenda. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the agenda? Ivy, you want to, or you're pulling that up, so actually we'll wait so everybody can see it.
Okay, let's try this one more time.
Isn't technology fun?
Oh, it's
great.
me.
It's great when it works.
Man. Okay. Let's see.
Hi, big time. Pablo Medina here. Hi.
Hey, Pablo.
Can't barely hear anybody, but I'm here.
There we go. Okay, now let's see if this works. Hi.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Just one thing, Ivy, I'm probably looking at the wrong one. Here, I got it. Never mind. I found the meeting minutes. Okay, so who would like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
This is Laura. I'll make a motion.
Okay, and anyone second?
It's Gordon. I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the approval or the agenda has been approved. Let's see, and then approval of the minutes for February 18th.
This is Laura. I'll make a motion again.
Okay. Would anyone else like to make a motion or a second?
I second.
Pablo seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Pablo seems to have taken over the screen somehow. Is there any way you can get that back, the agenda, real quick? Ivy?
Yep.
Ah,
Oh, can you
here you
hear
are. Yeah, okay. Okay, so then on to the executive director's report. Number 6.
Okay. So this is our summary of my activities for the past month and about 2 months. Yeah. So so far we're still completing our file. So we're still updating, transitioning into Salesforce. So pretty much everybody's into Salesforce. We did find a couple stray boxes that Jasmine has been diligently putting in, but we have been scrubbing all files and updating contact information. So again, we gave ourselves 10 months and that was the beginning of January. So we'll be done around towards the end of this year with everything being completely updated. Marketing materials, all the trifles are still here at the office. We have handed them out to the aldermen who I was able to meet with in person. So they have those in their office and some local libraries. We completed again our mass mailing for the holiday season in November. It got to everybody about December. We have an additional mailing plan for our local community. We was able to get some information on every taxpayer in our district. So they'll receive a mailing next week, the first week in May. So it should get there around the second week of May, but it'll go out the first week in May to the first 500 people in our taxing district. It was no rhyme or reason how we picked them. They're randomly picked. So however we got it from the treasurer's office, that's how they're going to get it from us. And then the next mailing of 1,000 will go out in late July. Our inaugural newsletter again was distributed in November 2020. Our second newsletter was sent out April 2021, and our next one is scheduled for June 2021. Alderman meetings. So far I've met with Alderman Sposato, Villegas, Telefaro, Nugent, and Cardona. Each alderman designated a sole member of their staff to our office for communication and outreach. Also included with Alderman outreach, I'll be doing outreach to the state reps and senators moving forward to add to that list. Our strategic planning committee met on April 20th, 2021. In attendance, we have Commissioner Hawks, Keisha Williams, who is a real estate agent here in Chicago, Catherine Bolonsky, I hope I'm saying her name right. She's a Dunning resident and the chief of staff for Alderman Sposato, and Lauren Price, a local resident of the community and a representative from Alderman Terrafaro's office. The next planning committee is scheduled for July 27th, 2021. And everyone who signed up to be on the strategic planning committee was sent the recording of our meeting as well as the agenda. Program enrollees. So far, that's late. That's old. We had 3 since November. So far we've had a total of 20 new enrollees, and that's for 2020. So right now we're at 6 for 2021. That's the most updated number. For our annual audit, we are finishing our pre-audit financials with Wonderful Watson. He was going through some of our pre-audit financials, and I am grateful because it was a couple things that we would have got dinged for that we was able to answer questions. So I'm happy we got ahead of that. That was a great exercise and getting our financials in tip-top shape, but it didn't take very long, so we're almost done. For outreach, we are communicating with both nonprofits and retail stores for in-kind gifts and additional marketing. I reached out to Sharon Williams for in-kind gifts, so I'm still waiting to hear back from them from their corporate. So I will give them a follow-up in May. And also, we are now a member of the Six Corner Business Association, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on economic development for the area. Home improvement loan, we've had a total of 17 applications. We have about 10 that have been approved, and we have 2 in the pipeline for sure. And then for board training, it is still going to be May 2021 unless anything changes, and I will be giving you guys the date sooner than later. That's it for the executive director's report.
Okay, great. And then the financial report.
Financial, all righty. So far for the financials, we're doing very good so far. Pretty healthy. Nothing too glaring right now. We are still below budget, of course, for most things. We did have contingencies, which we paid out Wonderful Watson out of the contingencies. So that's why the contingencies is a little high. And then we do have, we have to purchase another laptop. So you'll see that on our next financial statement. Because of course this ends at March 31st. Because we're not done for April yet. So during our meeting in June, you'll see that that hit. But we did purchase a computer for Jasmine in the office as her computer died. So we had to get her another one to make sure she was up and running. And we're gonna get the other one fixed, and then I'll go towards our intern that we're hoping to get for the summer.
Okay.
Uh, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions on the financials, we so far we've paid $1,299.11 towards the home improvement loan for this year. So that kind of gives you a sense of how much money is going out for our loan. So that's from January to March 31st.
Okay. I do have a question about, so marketing and PR. So that doesn't include the mailers? Is that just the mailers are for postage and mail?
That would be postage and mailing, but we haven't paid for anything just yet. It hasn't gone out. So.
Oh, okay, for this year.
Right. The one last year hit last year's budget, not this year's budget. Yeah.
Okay, and then and so the printing, what we have.
Correct. Printing covers like our printing costs for upkeep of the machine that's here and any additional printings we may have. But the postage and mailing will go for like our mass mailing. So that's all we have for our mass mailing for the years. That's $7,000.
Okay, and when you this is not a grill. This is just I can't remember off the top of my head. When you ordered the brochures, how many did you order?
I ordered, it is 2,000 of them.
2,000. Okay, so the next time we do a mailing, we're going to need to order more.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to think of like for marketing and PR, if we wanted to do like Google AdWords or Facebook ads or stuff like that, how much do we have roughly?
Okay. And I usually do the Google ads and stuff. I pull that from the marketing and PR budget, which is at 7,000. So that's where you see that 176.82 come from.
That was a Facebook ad, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions on the operating budget?
This is Laura. How much did you say? I'm having a little trouble seeing it on the screen. How much did you say had gone out from the loan program, Ivy?
Oh, I'll scroll down. We're paying right now. We're at $1,299.11. So it's roughly about $400 a month we're paying towards the loans.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have questions? All right. So let's see. Next is marketing efforts.
Marketing. There's something wrong. Hold on. Okay. So this is the internal marketing strategies, and I did get a proposal back from the publicist. So she will be assisting with the bottom part of this internal marketing strategy. So you'll see that at the very bottom where it says publicist. So we've kind of had a discussion, and then she will assist on the social media front as well. So
Oh, great.
I'll share that with the board outside of here, her proposal to you guys, so you can see where her strategies are. But we did hone in on double teaming kind of the news outlets. So some of the strategies we went with through our it was a meeting with Carrie, myself, Jasmine, and then I reached out to our potential publicist, who has been great because she helps with our newsletter. So these are some of the things that we came up with, some local events, and I put NW Heat staff and commissioners. So if you guys know of anything, let us know. But we are applying for the Jefferson Park and Portage Park Farmers Market. I just have to change our insurance over. So that's kind of been the hold up on that one, was getting our insurance changed. For neighborhood organizations, I've contacted the Hermosa Neighborhood Association. Haven't gotten to the Urban Park. We're part of Six Corners Association. Gladstone Park just got back to me tonight, and Scorch Village Improvement we've contacted. So we've contacted those so far. If there's any we missed, please shoot me an email and let me know so we can make sure that we're part of those associations as well and our presence is felt. Social media, we discussed having more interaction on Twitter with our local representative. Unfortunately, I think only one of our aldermen has a Twitter account right now that's active, and that's Cardona. I tried to retweet everybody else, only Cardona was. So I changed that to include kind of our state reps because they all have their accounts active and busy. So mailing and brochures. So local community. So that is that's undergoing right now. So that's our outreach effort of us sending out those mailers to the list that we received from the treasurer's office. That list is very robust. So Jasmine and myself, we've kind of scrubbed the list to make sure that we're not sending it to developers or someone who has multiple units, because it does have to be owner occupied. So we want to make sure we're sending it to the correct people. So if we do get responses back, we're able to kind of not have to weed through that. So we've been scrubbing data just to get to the 500. So that's a kind of a big undertaking, but we're almost there. Local libraries, again, that's another ongoing effort to make sure that our brochures stay in the libraries. Giving the commissioners brochures to take to any event. So if you guys ever have an event or you're going to an event, let me know so we can drop those off to your house or mail them to you, whichever is more convenient. I know people are worried about, contact. I would tell everybody I'm 100% vaccinated, so I can stop by your house with my mask on and not be fine. So the second thing is realtor outreach, and that is with brochures and educational informational sessions. So we've already been working to do some outreach, on our behalf from the office with some realtors, as I work in that kind of space. I'm a realtor. So I've reached out to the realtors that I know to have this educational piece and sit down with some other smaller realtors to kind of have like a coffee conversation about what we do and how we do it. So when they do meet their clients or have potentials, they know what's offered on this side of town. And we've already identified a realtors podcast that we will be featured on, and I'll let you guys know when that happens. So, newsletters, again, we're making some changes to the newsletters. One is more of a community organization spotlight. So we want to spotlight different community organizations that have partnered with us, that are great partners to us, or those that we want to partner with. So we will add that to our newsletter, as well as a home improvement loan spotlight. So we will pull someone from our home improvement loan group, as small and mighty as they are, to talk about, how this has helped them or how it has added value to their home. So we will be adding those two things to the newsletter. And then some news outlet outreach. And this is going to be between myself and a publicist to work on, but these are some of the mediums that we will be reaching out to: Block Club Chicago, NPR, WBZ, because we need to do a follow-up story, Chicago Reader, Good Day Chicago, WGN sometimes, and Tribune. And it'll be much more than this, but this is kind of our very high level look at what this is going to be. We'll definitely hit, again, like the podcast, we'll have smaller podcasts that we'll be reaching out to, some other smaller local news mediums, and some other maybe YouTubers that we can jump on their station and kind of talk about what we do. So this is a high level view, but I will update this monthly for you guys with any changes.
Ivy, who did you reach to the Gladstone Park Association? Was that Joe T'Challa?
Yes, he reached back out to me tonight. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's
Oh,
gonna give
okay.
me a call this morning. Yep.
Great, I know Joe. Okay, I'll talk to him
Very
too.
nice. Yep.
All
Thank
right.
you.
This is Laura. Is the marketing strategies discussion meant to be its own item on the agenda? I don't think it was
It
on
is.
this one, but I can add it.
You know what? It is. I updated the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Ivy sent us an updated one. I can't remember what date.
It was-
Was that?
It was the same day. It was like an hour later, so it probably
Okay.
got lost.
Oh, I
Appreciate it.
apologize. Okay.
Okay, that's okay. So yeah, I resent, but I will make sure that it's resent to you, Laura, so you won't miss it. Yeah.
No worries. I'll just update my little Roman numerals here and put it
Yeah,
in.
it's number 8.
Thank you.
Okay. Great work, Ivy. Have you got anything else?
No, that's it. That is
Okay.
it.
Does anyone have any other questions, board members? commissioners? Nope. Okay, moving on to number 9. Ernie, you're up.
All right, terrific. And I could even unmute myself. Very quickly, I would like to thank Director Ellis as well as the commissioners and the board for having us. We thank you for giving us this time to talk about HB 2614. Before I do that, I would like to just quickly give you a little history of who we are if you don't know. And I'm not sure if everyone knows who Northwest Side Housing is, but we were founded in 2003. Our Northwest Side Housing Center identifies and responds to the needs of the community by leveraging resources to improve their economic well-being and quality of life in the Belmont-Cragen area, as well as the surrounding areas. Now, our values are resident-led, they're relational, responsive, as well as data-driven, because we find out the best data and try to stick with that data because we like to tell the truth of what is going out there. Our work, while we deliver on our mission, we have housing counseling, we have financial opportunity center, we have community organizing, we have older adults, community school and resilience. And we also have a new Northwest Side Community Development Corporation. I do have to say that with me tonight are Julio Rodriguez, our Director of Organizing, and James Rudick, our Executive Director, and Mitch Kastrazak, who's also a homeowner and part of Homeowners United. Homeowners United was a committee that was formed in 2008, 2009 during the foreclosure crisis. And what we found out, it was in 2017, we found out the priority became rising property taxes. And we have had countless town halls, countless debates. We had a debate with the Cook County Assessor's Office, and we asked whoever won, would they please come back to meet with our Homeowners United? Well, Fritz Kagi won and he came back. We've been working with him on the modernization bill, which is that the commercial properties pay their fair share, because every time they don't, homeowners have to pay more than their fair share. And this is how we came up to work on HB 2614. And the reason was Maria Pappas had a study out that said 52,000 people in Cook County are delinquent with their taxes. And I think it's 13,000 of them only owe or 23,000 of them only owe $1,000 or less. So we wanted to know if we could do anything with the Northwest Home Equity Assurance Program and see if they could help out some of these people that live in your area, your Northwest Assurance Program area. We went to Representative Guzzardi. Representative Guzzardi had a bill, and it was HB 2614. And Eva Dina Delgado took over that bill because he became the housing head of housing committee, and he asked her to take over that bill. She got it passed in the House. So it is now in the Senate with Senator Zaya. And the nice thing about all of this is Representative Delgado and Senator Zaya are in the Northwest Home Assurance Program. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to James Rudick, and James can tell you about the map that we have out and the count of delinquent residential properties. James?
Yeah, thanks, Ernie. Hi, everyone. It's really good to be with you all, and thanks for taking part of your meeting again this month. For Ernie, Julio, Mitch, and I. And when we were here last time and we floated this idea, we heard that there was interest in learning more from the commissioners. And so since the last meeting, we've done some research and Ernie detailed the conversations that we had and who we've talked to. And so here you see the number of delinquent, I'm sharing my screen. So here you see a map done by the Institute for Housing Studies at DePaul University. This shows in the Northwest Home Equity Assurance Program boundaries, the number of properties that have delinquent taxes from 2018. This is the most current data that they have. So it's a little outdated. As you know, it's a year in retro, but you see here the district, and you see concentrations in certain parts of the district where in that census tract there's 26 to 57 delinquent properties. And so you see roughly about 15 to 20 of those districts. So that's a couple hundred people. And then you add the rest. We're looking at several hundred people in this district who would qualify for the program under the bill that Ernie talked about, that would allow folks to get zero interest property tax loans to pay their property taxes that are in arrears. And we're going to hear from a homeowner who can share their story. But right now, there's really no relief for folks that have property tax in arrears. With COVID, there's been some relief. But prior to that, if you were behind on your property taxes, there weren't programs like for renters or homeowners in foreclosure where you could get a loan modification or even get rental assistance. So oftentimes folks were assessed high fees and penalties for not paying their taxes, became further behind. And then from there, unfortunately, their property taxes would be sold, and then their property could be sold because of their delinquent property taxes. So we see that this issue disproportionately impacts older adults, folks that are disabled, folks that are low income, and families and households of color. So we're really interested in a potential program that could help support these individuals and give them access to capital in the form of a loan that they otherwise may not get otherwise. And so as we talked about before, a $4,000 property tax bill can become $8,000 due to fees, interest, and penalties on those property taxes. So I think I'm going to turn it over now to you, Julio, to
No,
share.
I think before that, James, we're going to have Mitch, our homeowner, talk a little bit about his deferral program, and then we're going to turn it over to Julio to talk
Great.
about the numbers. Okay, thanks.
Great.
Mitch?
Yeah, my name is Mitchell Kasperzik. I'm a homeowner in the Portage Park area, part of the Homeowners United at Northwest Side Housing Center. Been working on a number of different things with the housing center in the area. I had originally gone to the housing center because of all my politician elected officials who had done nothing for me, and then they sent me over to the Northwest Side Housing Center. And as I've said in the past, I think there should be a big banner out in front of the housing center that says, when your elected officials fail you, you come to the Northwest Side Housing Center, because these are the people that'll help you. They don't have can't in their vocabulary. They're always trying to help you. They won't say we can't do this or we can't do that. So I wound up having my taxes sold because of a glitch. I had applied for the tax deferral program with the county treasurer's office, I should say. And I went and there were some technicalities about the deed issues on the property that I had to have changed. And they told me it was retroactive from the filing date, which I did before March 1st of, I believe this was in 2017. And then when I did get it straightened out and I went back to them, they says, no, that didn't apply, that I still, that the taxes were delinquent and they were sold, and that I would have to pay these taxes off. And it took a number of years before we finally got this all straightened out and everything. And like James was saying, it was a $5,000 delinquency, and by the time we got fees added to it and so forth, it was up around $10,000. And so, I mean, this is, and you figure, most seniors like myself, you're house rich and cash poor. So the thing is that somebody could actually buy the delinquent property taxes for a pittance of a few $1,000s and have a property that's worth $500,000. So this is a big problem, and there's no place to get money to borrow. If you go to banks and you go different places, they all tell you that you don't have enough income coming in because you're on a fixed income, and they won't even give you a home equity loan in terms of trying to pay off the delinquent taxes. So this is a big problem, and so now I'm assuming, or I've heard, that the Northwest Assurance program with the with possibly with this home improvement loan department would also be used for like delinquent taxes, to get a loan on delinquent taxes. So that's a big plus if that were to happen, because now you can go and you can use your equity and your property to possibly get your loan for the delinquent taxes. But there are a couple of drawbacks with your program, even with your repair program, where you have to get a $120,000 appraisal of your property. I'm wondering if you could somehow, have that adjusted in a way where you can hook up with a major realtor, like say Bellevue Realty on Belmont Avenue or one of the other ones in the area, that they can pull up, or you can pull up on your own, or maybe with the help of somebody at Northwest Assurance or possibly Northwest Side Housing Center, from the treasurer's office or the assessor's office, your property with all the listings of how many rooms are in there and so forth, and then go to a real estate like say Bellevue, who for maybe like $20 or something would give you on their stationery a report that says, according to what we've listed here from the assessor's office and so forth, a comparable property in your area like this would go for $280,000 or whatever the case may be, and if that would be sufficient enough to use as an appraisal rather than an appraisal for $120. I mean, when you're talking about $120, that's a lot of money for somebody that's on a fixed income to just come up with that money. And usually it's always, even like with a reverse mortgage program, if you ever looked into that, I mean, people are making money on your money before you can even access any of the money that you would get to supposedly help you pay bills or to do whatever you need to do. You're paying fees in excess of $15,000 going on up towards 20. I mean, that's a lot of money you could use to do different things, and yet people are making all this money off of these fees because you have to go see a counselor, you have to get an appraisal, you have to do this, you have to do that. By the time you get done, all these people are laughing on their way to the bank with their money that they made from you, and you're getting very little at the end. So it's a problem. It's like a catch-22, a vicious circle, however you want to phrase it, and it's just a situation I think that needs to be remedied. And hopefully the Northwest Side or Northwest Assurance Program, in conjunction with this Representative Delgado bill of 2614, can somehow address that and maybe make it a little bit easier. So that's all I have to say at this point. Thank you for listening, and I hope it works.
Okay, thank you, Mitch. Now we're going to turn it over to Julio, who will run the numbers by you.
Thanks, Ernie, and thanks, Mitch. Good evening, board. My name is Julio Rodriguez. I work with Northwest Side Housing Center. Just want to run folks through this scenario, and just to clarify, the financing will come from a lending institution similar to the home improvement program. If the board authorizes, once the bill passes, they would pay for the interest. So we made it. We took an average of what a property tax installment bill is, of about $5,000. Since property taxes are paid in 2 installments. For those that may not be aware, interest rates for loans for this type of use range anywhere from the low end at 6% to anywhere to 17 to 20%. So our hope is that the banks that we work with will work with us and be able to give us a 7% rate. And most of these loans are at a 5-year amortization, which is 5 years to pay it back. And based off that number and the corresponding rate over 5 years, the bank would make $11.28 as far as income, which is the interest paid over that period of time. If we're able to assist 100 people, that would be a cost of $112,800, and the annual cost would be $22,500. And the payment the borrower would make would be $82, and the remaining amount will be paid through the interest that's being subsidized by the assurance program. Next slide. Just wanted to uplift our overall outreach. So we reach 5,000 people annually. Our name says it all, Northwest Side Housing Center. We work a lot in the community now, but our bread and butter is working with homeowners. So we would target existing clients, obviously any homeowner that's in distress. We would partner with Ivy, with the treasurer's office, to pull data, do outreach directly. But we would also target those losing their home. We have a low-income housing energy assistance program where homeowners come in and overall just commit to finding the borrowers. And so that's what we are hoping to do. There's nothing like this right now that's in the community or in Chicago, and it makes a big difference because this is someone's home, and it's generational wealth, so it has an impact for many people. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing any questions or comments the board may have.
Thank you, Julio. Yeah, any questions? We're here.
This is Laura. I was wondering which financial institutions you've spoken with, if any yet.
So we have strong relationships with a number of banks. I know that Ivy has recommended the Vaughn Bank. We have a relationship with them. We're also going to be in conversation with Liberty Bank and with Credit Union One, which is a credit union that is actually national now, but they have an office over by Fullerton and Fullerton in California. Some of the other, our preference would be working with smaller banks because they really understand the issues affecting people on the Northwest side. But those are the target financial institutions that we'll be working with.
Okay, great. Julio, I'd like to talk to you about approaching Allbank too when you have a chance to reach out to me individually.
Okay, absolutely.
So Julio, have any of these banks actually committed to participating in the program?
We haven't scheduled that meeting yet because we're waiting for the bill to pass.
Sure.
I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, I used to be a loan officer at a not-for-profit lender, and they're still gonna do their underwriting, and this is a guaranteed win for them because if once this bill passes, if the board decides to implement this, then they're getting paid their interest, and there's a lower probability of default because the payment's affordable from the homeowner.
Okay. So it's currently in the Senate, right?
Correct.
But it
Correct.
hasn't passed that yet.
No, but it looks like it will be passed.
Sure. Okay. I'm not just curious, like what the status was of it at this point.
It's in assignment right now, in the assignment committee.
Oh, it's in committee right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So it hasn't gotten out of committee yet, but odds are it will.
correct.
Okay.
It just went there yesterday.
Okay. And you said the interest rates range from 6 to 17% for this kind of loan?
Correct.
Okay. Out of curiosity, and when I ask these questions, I am not speaking on behalf of any of our board. I'm just asking general questions. So Mitch had said that one of the hard parts was like the $120 application fee to get an appraisal. And I don't know of a bank that would give out a loan without an appraisal. I think that would have to be something that would be done. But it's possible that if that's what's standing in his way, I mean, we could look at, again, I am not speaking as the board, I'm just throwing out ideas, at possibly waiving that fee. So if that is something that's standing in the way of homeowners being able to get these loans, the home equity loans, then that could be a problem. But the only thing is the home equity loans, it's very specific that they are to be used for home improvements. So this would have to be in the bill, is it outlined as a different loan entirely?
Great question. No, it's not. So
It
the
is.
ba-
It is.
Just
Inside,
okay.
yeah, the bill identifies it as a loan for delinquent property taxes. Then we have the separate part in our statute that outlines the home improvement loan. So I think that's kind of the question. So it looks like we're adding a fourth program on. That's what it reads as.
A fourth or a third?
Well, we have the foreclosure.
Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ernie, does this pertain only to single family, or is it 2 flats or 3 flats or all that? If they
It's
live there, live at that location.
correct, if they live there.
Okay.
I think we go up to 6 flats, don't we?
Yes,
Ivy?
it is
Yeah.
6,
Yeah, but not above 6. So it wouldn't.
correct,
It
But
wouldn't.
the homeowner has to occupy one of those units.
That's
correct.
Right, yeah, has to be owner occupied.
Right.
Hmm. And it could be like you were saying, multi-generational. So let's say the previous owner or the previous owner died, but it passed on to a family member.
Sure.
The membership in the organization gets passed down, so long as the property is still owned, by the same family. Right, Ivy? That's what I seem to recall.
That is correct, as long as it's a family member who has taken over it.
Right, yeah.
But they have to notify us. We do have to be notified so we can update the contract or participation.
Okay.
Well, the succession of ownership would be reflected in the property deed. That's how that would go along, or in a will that whoever owned the property previous, whether that was a family member or father, mother, whatever, and then that would be reflected in the transformation of the deed into the current owner.
Right, but they could still let our office know that it's like a new owner of that. I mean, but if somebody contacts us, we can always look up their record and see if they were members before. Because we still have paper copies of everything, right, Ivy?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Ernie, would this pertain to, like, if there was a lien against the property at all? We would be able to find that out?
Correct, you would be able to find that out.
Okay.
And
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you guys for the presentation. That was great.
Thank you.
A lot of really good information.
An amazing job. You guys really pulled this together very quickly. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
thank you for having us. Real quick, if I could say, on your marketing, we have a lot of events. In fact, I think we provided over 20,000 vaccinations, if not more. And we would welcome you to come to any of our events and talk about Northwest Home Equity Assurance Program, because it is the people that you serve. And if you like something that we do, we'd love to have your logo so people can see that who you are and what you are, and they can say, hey, what is that? Because we would like to tell more people about it. And it's one way of marketing where you'd be able to get publicity, or, people knowing who you are just by being at an event. I would hope that you take that into consideration.
yes, Ernie, thank you so much. Back before the pandemic, we've had come to a couple of events as an organization there. So we'll be back again this year. With, if you guys can send me a list of events.
Okay,
We're-
terrific.
We
Thanks.
always do your home ownership monthly. So whenever Caesar invites me, I'm there every Saturday doing a home ownership, talking about our program. So any new events you guys have, please let me know so we can make sure our presence is felt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ernie. I like that idea. This is Laura. I'm taking minutes. Mitch, I was wondering if you would mind spelling your last name for me.
It's K as in Kathy, A as in Andrew, S as in Stephen, P as in Peter, R as in rabbit, Z as in zebra, Y as in yes, K as in kite.
I can tell you've done that before. Thank you.
I have done it before my entire life. I've done it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yep. And Ernie, if you guys ever have virtual events too, please let Ivy know. Because I know Ivy loves working with you guys, and she's at whatever she gets invited to. So
Yes.
anything you want to invite her to, she's more than happy to do.
We definitely will. Thank you.
Awesome.
Maybe get you guys on some Zooms too with
Yeah,
some of the
that would be great.
legislators. Okay,
That would
thanks.
be perfect.
All right.
Okay. Does anyone else have any more comments about the presentation?
I just wanted to mention something here. You know, in terms of this home improvement loan, which is ongoing from the Northwest Assurance, it's a $5,000 cap, from what I understand.
No,
And it's not a 5,000.
No, there's different tiers on the
Okay.
loans. So I
Okay.
believe we go up to 30,000, Ivy.
We do. So the first year is, we said we start at 5,000, but if somebody wants to get $1,000 loan, they will not turn you down. So it's 5,000 to 15,000. It's at 0%. 15,000 to 20,000 is at 2%, and 20,000 to 30,000 is at 4%.
So if you wanted to get, say, $1,000 loan only, you have to take a $5,000 loan?
So
No.
you could do $1,000. We just say from 5,000, but they do micro loans down to 1,000.
Okay. And it's a one-time opportunity, a one-time loan?
No,
No.
once you pay the loan off, you can get another one.
If you pay the loan off, you can get another one. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, because you can't, I mean, the bank has to be in second place for a home equity loan. So you can't have two home equity loans going at the same time.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to item number 10, which is public comment. This will be anything that was on the agenda that was previously covered. Does anyone have any comments? Okay, let's move on to number 11, old business. Do we have any old business we need to cover? I don't think we do, but I could be wrong. Oh, Ivy, when is our, we need to have an election, don't we?
We do, and I will make that. We'll do it. Are you guys able to do it in June?
Yeah. Can everyone be at the June meeting? What date is the meeting on?
That one is June 20. I feel like I know it off the top of my head, but I don't. June 24. No, June 17th. I'm sorry.
Okay. Does anyone have any travel plans? They can't be so sorry. That was a bad joke. Is everybody okay doing the election that day?
Yeah, it would work for me.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to item number 12, new business. Do we have any new business to cover? I think that we're good. Okay, so did someone need to add something?
Oh, that was me, Ivy. I just wanted to again commend the Northwest Side Housing for working with Desiree, ourselves, and Southwest on this bill, and we look forward to see the outcome. So thank you guys so much for all the hard work that you guys put in. Ernie has been back and forth calling us, making sure everything was tight and very very open about the process and everything that was going on. So I appreciate that. So thank you, Ernie.
I thank all of you. It's something that's definitely needed. It's only a little dent. We're also working with Housing Action Illinois on senior deferrals, and that bill looks like it's going to go through. And we're also going to be talking to IDA to see if we can get some grant money to help people.
Great.
Ernie, do you have anything with HUD going on at all, or?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Not on taxes, not on delinquent taxes, no.
Okay, so would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn? Board member, that is.
This is Laura. I'll make a motion.
Awesome. Would anyone like to second?
I will second that.
Okay, great. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. So meeting
Aye.
adjourned at 7:29. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Karen.
you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good evening, everyone.
You too. All right, bye.
Thanks, Ivy. Thanks, Carrie.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.